Yo, book nerds! March is National Reading Month, so I thought, what better way to celebrate National Reading Month than by a little love letter to books? Why do I love reading? There is many reasons. This relationship that I have with books did not just develop overnight. It has been a lifelong relationship. So let's talk about it. Honestly, I have been reading ever since I can remember. Like, once I was able to read, I was reading. I really don't remember any time where I didn't have a book in my hand. When I was really little, like, obviously it was picture books. I can think of picture books that I loved so much that I would carry with me all over. And then as I grew, those picture books turned into children's chapter books, turned to middle grade, turned to young adult, and then has turned into adult and classic literature. And like, it has grown with me and has been a part of my life as long as I can remember. And my family always jokes because really nobody in my family loves reading like I do. And my family likes to joke, like, where did you get that from? Like, there are people like my mom and my grandma and some of my aunts, like, they'll read books on occasion, but they don't read books constantly all year round. They haven't read their entire lives like I have. Like, I literally can measure my life in books. I can think back to years and go, oh my gosh, I remember at this time I was reading this book. And like, my life is measured by the books that I've read. And so like nobody else in my family is that way. And so I don't know where I got it from. It just grew organically in myself. Honestly, like, I think a huge part of it is because books were a light for me when I was going through a lot of tough things in my life, especially at like a very young age. Like, my parents got divorced when I was really little. I was like 5 years old. And so like, books were my escape, not just with their divorce, but like growing up, I went through a lot of things too. I was bullied. I had many family members go through battles with cancer. I've lost many people that I love. There have been other divorces in my life. Through my life, there have been hard times, and my family and friends have got me through those, but also books have got me through those as well. And I did another video a few years back. I don't remember exactly when I posted it, but it was a thankful for books video. So that video kind of dives into that a little more. So if you haven't checked it out, go watch that video. I explain a little bit more and I go through specific books that helped me through those tough times. But essentially, books were my friend, especially when I was younger, because like I said, I was bullied a lot. I was very shy. I didn't have very many friends. Books were my friends. Growing up, I always had a book with me. I took a book everywhere. On vacation, over to friends' houses, to daycare, like to school, obviously. Like, I always had a book in my hand. Didn't matter the situation. Didn't matter if I wasn't actually going to read it or if I didn't know if I would read it, because like, it brought me comfort. It was like a security blanket. Like, having a book in my hand as a kid, I needed that. Like, books were part of me. They were physically like part of me. I always had one with me. I would like during like family Christmases, I would sneak off into another room by myself and be reading. I remember one time we were at some party that like a friend of my family's was putting on, and there was like a wagon ride that they had. And I remember going on that wagon ride and just reading back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And my mom was like, how can you read a book while jostling along in the wagon? I don't know, I just could. I really enjoyed it. I remember being a kid and like being at daycare, and we'd be playing games and running around like outside or something, and I'd have a book in my hand. Was I reading it? No, but it was attached to my hand. Like, I would bring books in the car. When I was really little, I didn't have a book light, and I mentioned this in another video, but I would read by the streetlights if it was dark, and I would read as I passed under a light, and then I'd have to stop until we'd come to the next streetlight, where then I could read it again, and then I'd have to stop till we get to the next streetlight. Like, I was addicted to books. Still am addicted to books, but like, it was a thing when I was little to do that. I was that kid that would get in trouble for reading in school when I was supposed to be doing other work. That was me. That was totally me. Besides just like getting me through hard times though, books, obviously, they bring me a lot of joy. Books take me places that I could never go, like to fantasy worlds, but also sometimes to parts of the real world that I may never actually get to see in real life. And I get to see them and experience them in a book, which is, if you can't experience the real thing, it's the next best thing. And I get to experience so many things that I could never experience just in my own life, in my own body. I get to experience what other people feel and go through during certain events. I get to experience parts of history. I get to experience things that are completely made up and completely fabricated, but are so much fun and entertaining. That's what books do, and I love it. When you can just sink into a book and forget that you're reading, that is a gem of a book, and that is the kind of experience that I love. I've talked a lot about like as a kid, but like now my relationship with books has obviously changed. I have a lot more responsibilities now, so I don't have as much time to read as I did when I was a kid. But I still love to read. I love literature. I love books. Sometimes it's still an escape for me, but it still brings me so much joy. It's not purely for escapism that I read books. Reading also connects me to my kids. I love reading with my kids. My 3-year-old especially loves books. She asks me to read to her every single night. It is such a great way for me to bond with her, and that in itself brings me so much joy too. I have completely upended my whole life for books when you think about it. I had been working in a church and I liked my job. I actually loved my job, but something was missing. And I left that job and I'm going back to school so I can be an English teacher, because English and literature and all that is just part of my soul, and I want to share that with others, and I want to inspire and teach kids how books can change their lives. And so I am turning this into my career. And I've created a YouTube channel because of how much I love books, because I wanted more people to talk to. Like, books are a huge part of my identity, and that will never ever change. So that is my love letter to books. That is what I love about reading. That is how my love has grown over the years. Like, I don't know what else to say. That pretty much says it all. I love books, and books have been my friend, and books have shown me things that I can never see otherwise. Like I said, March is National Reading Month, so I hope your March is full of good books and great reading experiences. I'll see you guys next Monday. Hit like and subscribe. Thanks for talking books with me.